My question goes to you first. How much time do you spend on social media daily? And how does it affect your productivity?
Thank you so much. I would first appreciate the privilege to be able to speak here this evening. I want to appreciate the leadership of this house. Also, going back to the question she asked, I would, if I'm being completely honest with you, I can't say that I have a zero-time track record of the time that is on the media space, right? As someone who work, as someone who work on the media space, I'm a creative writer and a content creator. And basically, most of my time is always if I want to research online in media space. So I can't give a specific hour, but then I would like to say that I have two ways at which I learn from this space. I have the important, I make sure that, this space, I'm intentional about it and imposing them at the same time, which is like, the time that I need to go to school, I just want to check what is online. So for me, I can't say that I have a specific time that I use online, as much as I use that space to learn, to research, and to work. So giving a specific time will not really stay well at the same time. And I will also say that as a creator, as someone, you should learn that this space is not just for you to just from school. A lot of us, most times we learn to just from school and we shift our perspective away from. We tend to track time instead of tracking the attention space that we need for that place. So we shouldn't just track time that we are using here. We should track the attention. How much time am I? You should ask yourself the question why. Why am I using this platform? Is it because I just want to check information? Do I want to look around, or I just want to laugh and enjoy my space? So I think that it all boils to an individual. Learn to track your attention and not time. Thank you.
There is also a question about that. How does it affect your productivity?
I think I mentioned how it affects my productivity. I mentioned that I learn from space. As someone with research, I do mostly my research work is on all these platforms. And if I would want to write articles, I would want to research for content ideas I want to create. So that actually helps me with my productivity.
Thank you so much, Ma. I give the mic to the second speaker. The question for you is that how do you know that your Twitter life is becoming unhealthy? How do you know?
Alright, so firstly, I'll say thank you so much to the leaders of the general. So certainly, thank you so much, thank you, and to my friends, Scooby, Stevie, and my co-facilitator, Ms. Blessing, thank you so much. Alright, so I begin to know that my time in digital space is getting, okay, let me say social media now. It's getting excessive when everything I have to do as a daily regiment, I regimented my life. There are things I do on a daily basis. Once I see that there's a time I'm supposed to start something and it's already affecting it, I know I'm going overboard already. And number two is there's something I call self-evaluation. I conditioned myself to an extent to be able to constantly evaluate what I'm doing. Because, like Ms. Blessing said, we can't all say that this is the amount of time I give to social media. It is a space where everybody uses now. It's like a wall on its own. So what I do personally is I evaluate things. Why am I here? Once I lose track of the reason why I'm doing a particular thing, I know I've stepped the way I'm supposed to be. So that helps me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question to you. How does social media affect the self-esteem in your college?
Okay. Number one thing is, this I'm about to say is quite subjective because social media as a whole can, if you are coming into it like someone who is not well built, value speaking, you cannot really get a good experience from social media. Because everybody, even myself, everything we are putting out there on social media is what we want people to say about us. So when I go there, I'm seeing the beautiful life of someone, everything he's doing, going well for him, and it's maybe a downtime for me. So I would say that my esteem gets better, or let me say, I have a good thing to say about my esteem because I've built myself before going to use social media. If I should depend on social media for my own personal esteem, I'll be broken because everything doesn't look beautiful all the time.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, next question is, have you ever compared yourself with what you see online, and how does it affect you?
Okay, I would say I am not, because I understand that comparison is a killer of joy, right? And if everything that we see online is not necessarily what people are really going through, they want to feed you what they like, the pictures. They want to feed you what they feel like everybody needs to see. So I don't tend to compare myself to whatever is on that space. Because sometimes we tend to feel like, oh, this person is doing well, this person is better. You are seeing fine people, you are seeing people speaking so well, and you're like, I want to become like this person. That's the place where I tend to learn. I would say that as an individual, you should not compare yourself to what you see online. You can either learn from it, learn from them. Because most people, like I have mentors, I have people that I look up to, I have selectivity, I have people that I look up to and I say, oh, I want to be able to speak like this person, I want to be able to be bold like this person. And that's not what comparison is. It's just you trying to learn from that person. So you shouldn't see what you see online as something that, oh, I need to compare myself to. So as an individual, don't compare yourself. I don't compare myself to you. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, the next question to you, ma'am. Have you ever felt emotionally drained while working online? Like maybe while spending much time online, have you ever felt emotionally drained?
Yes, I would say yes. Because there are lots to consume on that space. There are rules. Like when you are moving around, you are seeing goals, you are seeing a particular content that is telling you to be great. And on the other hand, you are seeing another content that says that you need to take a rest. You are seeing another content that is telling you that you need to do this. Especially early this year, we could see how that everybody was saying 10 things you can do to become better, 20 things you can do to become this. So everywhere, everybody is just bitter. They are just seeing different content. So at that point, you are emotionally drained. It is draining because you are consuming a lot of things. So you should just know how to discipline yourself, not to just get all those things to keep boiling in your head. I think that's a better way to see it, right? Like not be overwhelmed, too overwhelmed with everything that is online.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to hit the next bio of the last participator on our list, the person of news, Omoyeni Wonderful. Omoyeni Wonderful is a passionate entrepreneur, fashion stylist, and creative brand owner dedicated to helping people live elegant and confident through fashion. She is the CEO of JRS Fashion Haven, an online fabric brand known for providing quality fabric, including stylish Ankara, lace, and other careful selected material for fashion lovers and designers. A lover of God with a strong sense of purpose and creativity. Wonderful combined fashion, faith, and authenticity in everything she does. Beyond selling fabric, she's also a self-model for her brand, using personal style and creativity to inspire others through fashion content and styling ideas. Known for her classic and colorful fashion sense, she believes that Dressing well is a form of confidence and self-expression. Through her styling tips and outfit combination, she has helped many people to learn how to combine colors and styles outfits beautifully and embrace their individual with confidence. As a fashion daily and digital creative, Wonderful continues to build a brand and represent quality, elegant authenticity, and inspiring both online and fashion. Welcome to Miss Wonderful Omoyeni.
You know how creativity works, so it has helped a lot. And for us to know whether it is not healthy, right? Firstly, when social media became very unhealthy for us, let me say, when it starts affecting your kids, when you cannot see, when you are online, you cannot see, it's affecting your kids, or even your confidence, when you are online, it's already affecting your confidence. So what's the point? So that's the major sign of unhealthy lifestyle. And another thing to show in balance is, let me say, when social media, when you don't have anything, you don't have any notification on your phone, and you constantly checking your phone that what's going on, I want to see things, I want to see what's going on, I want to see what you feel so anxious, like what is going on the internet, social media. So that is not healthy for us.
Okay, the next question also is for you. How are you able to manage and stay focused, even despite everything, and despite every of the distraction, online, everything? How are you able to stay focused?
I would say, number one, I stay offline when it is necessary for me. Because even recently, it has happened to me recently that with a lot of news, bandits, and everything that is going on. When I start feeling emotionally drained, like I cannot just stay like 1 hour straight on online, and everything you see online is bad news. You see people talking about very overwhelming stories online every time. See, all these things, they are not good to my health. When it starts affecting me mentally, like I have to stay offline. I can remember in 2022 during the saga of the bad night, I had to stay offline for like a month after that, because during that saga, it happened to me that I could not even, for me to stay in a room alone, I would be scared. I cannot sleep, to close my eyes, like, because if I open phone like this, it is the news everywhere. So it is very bad when when I know it's not healthy. So I stay online when it is necessary. And another thing that I noticed is that not everything that appears on my screen deserves my attention. Just because it appears on my screen, it doesn't mean that it deserves. I have to give my attention to it. So that's what I do. Then another thing I do that makes me focus outside social media, right? When I'm offline, I pray and I meditate.
Thank you so much. Now we'll be very short. The next question goes to Mr. Ismail. The question is, how do you maintain relationship outside social media? How do you maintain relationship? Apart from living online, how do you still maintain it even though you're not online?
Okay, so I'd say I'm more of a real-time person. Of course, you can't do without the digital space. It's what I said already, that it's a world of its own. So it's what I've been practicing even before I have to learn how to do it with social media. So relationship is something we should learn. There's no one way to it. By your temperament, or by your personality, let me just put it that way, you can be a people type by what you just find yourself doing naturally. But I think everybody in this world is what we really need. There are times I realized that I was in some leadership positions that requires me any relationship. I went to meet people, I asked them questions. How am I supposed to behave in this position that I am? Of course, when it comes to relationship, to a large extent, it still boils down to influence, your interaction with people, and in a way you begin to influence them and they begin to influence you. So I go to meet people, I need to learn how to relate to this kind of people. Maybe I've learned to, I've been relating with some people before. I have to learn how to relate to them. It's one of the greatest teachers on relationship, John C. Maxwell, he would say, he said something in his book that there was a time he went to a new geographical location different from where he was, and the way they do things was different from the way they were doing things from where he was coming from. So he had to meet top leaders at that area and ask, how am I supposed to relate to these people? There is a way to relate with each people. So back to what I do, I study people. I don't just assume this is what this person wants, because I've foolishly applied one approach to many people, and I see it works for some, but it fails with many. So I study them, try to know what they want, and with phone being a distraction, most times I take my phone away, especially when I'm with family. I learn to do away with my phone and just let's do it. It's possible I make mistakes while trying to converse with you. I would apologize and learn you better. So that has been working for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Also, next question is, have you ever seen being online as something bad or something that is not really helpful?
Okay, life is in stages, right? Yes. There are times I've had to go and pray that, I tell God, this thing is affecting my life. Help me, what's going on? So, there was a time I got addicted to social media, I got addicted to Instagram, I got addicted to YouTube. I mean, different places, and I'm saying, what's going on? So I've not seen social media as something terrible before, because it's eating up my time, and everything I mapped out for myself, I realized I'm unable to touch these things as I really wanted to. But what I did was, after I've seen all of this happening to me, I took time intentionally to drop everything I was doing, and I realized I've built a momentum in that aspect, which is an addiction. I've become addicted to social media. So it's like I was telling a friend of mine that addiction is just like, I know most of us would have seen the grinding machine before, the local grinding machine. When you start it will start moving slowly, then the momentum starts increasing, then it gets to the point it maintains that momentum. So that's exactly how addiction is. I could not help myself. After I've gotten myself into it, I will feel so bad. What has happened to me again? I realized I could not do it. So I needed to cry out for help. I messaged someone, a mentor. I messaged him and I give account to him, which I would say accountability is very important as well. This is what I've been battling, how can you help me? And for days he did not respond, but one thing I saw was the moment I told him this is what I was going through, I was conscious of not doing those things again because I was scared. Now, it's not a negative one. I was just conscious that I've reported myself to someone over. If I fail to do it right, it's going to hold me accountable. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, the next question goes to Ms. Wonderful. How can you protect your private life and personal value online?
Firstly, I would say they are not real. So, not everything we see online is true. Especially all these influencers, you see, whatever they post online, it doesn't mean that that's their real life. In real life, they have their own life that they live separately. What they post online doesn't mean that that's their real self. So, personally for me, let me just personalize the question as me as a person, I love to post videos, but that doesn't mean that is real. So I only post what I feel like posting, and that doesn't mean that is me, that is who I am.
Okay, thank you so much. Before we proceed, I would like to entertain questions from the audience. Any question concerning the
I have a question. Thank you very much.
Alright, my question is coming from the perspective of influencing people. Because I realize that whatever we post on social media, we are influencing someone negatively or positively.
Yes, sir.
So if we are posting someone based on the work we feel, based on friend, based on I just want to post this, because we all agree that social media is not real. But what if influencers or someone who is posting someone based on the way they feel and what they are posting has the power to instill negativity in the person? So how do we also, as a creator, how do we also combat the fact that, okay, I want to post what I feel. So how do we just oppose the effects of what we are posting with our audience? That's my question. I don't know if you guys understand it. Thank you.
I feel like, as we said earlier, everything that we see online is like has impact on people, whether negative or positive. So I think your question says that how do we just approach between what people post and like how the effect on their audience
As a creator.
as a creator. You are a creator, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So I feel like as a creator, you should understand that, and that is you asking yourself the question why are you on that platform itself? Because are you there to impact people, or are you there to inform, or are you there to entertain people? So when you understand that question, or when you answer that question, you'll be able to figure out what exactly what your audience will be able to perceive about you specifically. Because as a creator, you should understand that you are not creating for yourself, you are creating for people, you are creating for your audience. Your audience want to learn, they want to hear from you. And we have different creators, especially in this our age, like this generation, there are a lot of creators, and you will just scroll and you see one creator creating something that you feel like, I would say that this person is influencing. What exactly is this person influencing? So we should just, I feel like you should just understand the why of you being there and understand your audience, understand that you are not doing this for yourself, you are impacting life. Do you want people to know you are someone that's impacting something negative to people, or do you want them to know that you are impacting something that can make them be better, become better in every areas of their lives? And I think that should answer the question that you answered.
Yeah, and also the temptation of being monetized. And you want to create content is more.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, you understand.
Okay, so recently, even on recent, Meta already added subscription plan for people. That is, as a creator, people can now subscribe to your Instagram. You can now subscribe to your Facebook page. So I know that a lot of people would want to go out here and also create. And this also wants people to, because a lot of people are creating nonsense. It's not like.
And nonsense sells better.
Yeah, I understand. Because I feel like this thing is Nigeria, we celebrate something that does not make sense a lot. We celebrate a lot. And you will look at some people and you feel like these people, they are up there. These people, they are, because even people that they are calling to come and speak in events are now people that are creating nonsense. Are people that are not creating the real value that people need. And as a person, that's why you should, no matter how the trend is going, what exactly do you want to do on that space should be the question. No matter how, because nonsense is selling, you don't want to sell nonsense. Is that what you really want to keep on forever? So when you understand that, you will be able to, when you understand what exactly you want to give, the value that you want to give out, you'll be able to structure yourself, you'll be able to give yourself structure that you will not even allow the noises or maybe the money that they are paying you to get over you. Because a lot, everybody is doing something because they want to make money out of it. We are all creating because, at the end of the day, this should sell for me, right? I will be able to create value to these people and I will be able to get value back and return of value and how they call it. So we should understand that. What exactly do I want to do here? Understand that. Understand your why. don't allow the trend will go. Trend comes and goes. Like for recently, you have a particular trend that comes that between 2 months, the trend has gone, right? And we have another trend that is still coming. So it is your life, and you can decide to do what you want to do, and you can decide to choose what you want to do with your life. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I have a question for each of the panelists, and I'll start with Ms. Leslie. My question to you is, there's what we call purpose, which can be derived from manners and morals of actions, right? This purpose, how? Because personally, I've experienced that it has, digital life has affected beyond our personal life, even our productivity value where we work in our school. So how do we cut a balance between the manners and the morals that is available to us from the digital space? For example, you see someone who is a single mother encourage, or how can I call it, a single mother encouraging single motherhood, devaluing the value of marriage through our personal experience. So how do we cut between the morals and the manners that is available, or the appearance? How do we cut between the morals and the manners of the appearance in marriage? I'm sorry, in the digital space as a person. So that's your question. Number 2, to the entrepreneur. Now, how do I meet those? For example, if I have 18 hours daily to be active, how do I turn half of that hours, which is 9 hours, to a financial freedom for myself? I'm money data. MTN Glow, what have you, are collecting my money. How do I transform that hour productively for economical freedom? Right? And to Mr. That's to Miss Wonderful. And to Mr. Miracle. There's what we call technical trend. And I know you're an IT inclined person. How do I manage the role of privacy? How do I manage, on every social media angle, there is blog, there is archive, there is news. I think all digital handles have those things. When do I use what? Those are my questions.
Thank you for that question. Basically, I would want to say that as someone who works as a public service expert, right? I would say that understanding your why, understanding who you are as a person, it's something that will help you a lot, right? And also, we understand that the media space now is a space where we get different information. You can be scrolling and someone saying this, someone saying that, a lot is happening. And I would say that you need to choose what you want to see. The media actually give you space to choose what kind of content you want to see. Instagram give you what you want. You can choose, I want to see this kind of content on my space. I want to see this kind of content on my space. This kind of situation, it helps you structure, it helps you gouge your heart. Because a lot is happening. Especially for the past few weeks, we could see different things that is going on, from bandits to divorce, from this news to that news, and it has a way of affecting people's mindsets. It has a way of affecting people's mindsets. We start thinking that, this thing, I think we should just live our lives. This life, everybody should just be hard or wicked. But at this point, everybody wants to be wicked. So, but then, when you are able to guard your heart from everything that you see online, you will not be swayed away from the noises. Because I see all those things as noise. And that is why you need to be disciplined enough to structure what you do online. How many times are you using online? We've talked about how that, we need to look into the time that we use, our attention span. How much do you discipline yourself or try to caution yourself from picking up your phone? Or even if you see a notification at all, you shouldn't just pick up your phone immediately. Because at that point, Even if you are taking detox, you know how your brain will be feeling like, oh, I need to go back to my phone. So you should understand that. You can pick what you want to see, and you can guard your heart, because a lot is happening, and I will not lie. Guard your heart, and that's the major thing. Guard your heart, because there is no way you will not even see all these things. You will still see. Even in life, when you are having conversation with people, you will understand that people have different perspectives about things. You can say that, this thing, I see it this way. Another person will say that, I see it that way. Next thing, social media has done a lot of harm to people. A lot of harm. And we don't even realize it. That's the funny thing, that we do not realize that this thing is causing harm to you. But then, as I've said earlier, choose what you want to see. Choose the kind of content you want to see. And also guard your heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much for passing on the phone. Thank you for that question. As for me, as an entrepreneur, social media has helped me. I think social media is a space for us that's giving us that opportunity that's giving us that visibility to showcase our business. People make money. Let me say, I make money from showcasing my brand, my business, what I sell. I market my business, I advertise there, even to people that I know that they don't need it. They actually want it for their friends, for their family. And consistency. You see that consistency? I might not make this for a week, but I keep on showing up for myself, for that brand. I make sure I post every time. Not even when I don't expect, even when I don't think that I will make sense. People, it is that time, that particular time now, I'm just like, okay, even when I'm at my lowest, let me think and continue to go. So consistency has helped me to make something.
Okay, so thank you, Sadili. But I don't know, can I just add to the question? Yes. Okay, so I think he mentioned something and his blessing answered wonderfully. I just want to add one or two to it. You're talking about creators that create negative content in the online space that we can all see, like this is so terrible. And you're asking, how can we combat it, right? How can we bring it down and let people know that this thing you want is not right? You see, you know, see Maxwell, I love this Maxwell so I'll just reference it. Pardon me by referencing it. Please go ahead. So he said something that everything rises and falls on leadership one. Yeah. Then he also said that everything, leadership itself, rises and falls on influence. So the battle in the online space now is more of a battle of influence. What many creators focus on is the message. They are not focusing on who is communicating the message. There are times I will look at who is communicating this message and I would have believed him even before he says anything. So we need to work on building our influence as a person. Whatever it will take us. I mean, it's not terrible, it's not manipulating people. You can do a lot that now many people we are looking at today, religious leaders, political leaders, it's not because of the money they have. No, because of the influence they've built over time. I know deeply that if I don't build my influence, a day is going to come. Somebody will say something somewhere else, and I will say my voice will not be heard. So I'm building my influence today, so my voice can be heard tomorrow. Because I know many things are said. Like I think someone said, rubbish sells on the internet. Yes, let's say that. So to actually communicate sense is expensive nowadays. So what we are doing now is paying the price. Yeah. So to answer the question, Sadili, that's a very nice question. Thank you so much, sir. It is when do I know, it's about technical trends, and when am I supposed to? Because apps are developing their features. Today you see this here, you see that here, and creators are jumping on them to get engagement and all of this. But as a creator, or let me say as a purposeful creator, we must, like the word of the late Dr. Miles Muro, that when the purpose of the thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Yeah. I will make reference to this lesson again. why am I here? See, I can decide to, of course, jumping on trends are beautiful, but I can decide to do a particular thing over time that I make so much sense, I am influential, and people begin to copy myself. True. We can be so good at it and be authentic, real, and we have the results. Now, when we are about to, maybe stand as a thought leader or become anything people can begin to look up to, we must not do away with these results, because I'm trying to bring people to sense. I'm trying to make them see light in this regard, right? So we don't jump on every trend. There must be privacy. Now, the question is, to what extent can I communicate some things about my life? Today now, there was a time I think late last week or last 2 weeks, I began to see that what is selling in the online space is couples talking about sex. True. Couples talk now. The excuse they are going to use is that they are couples, they are free to talk about sex, but the audience, not all of them are married. A 5 years old kid can pick up the phone and see what they are saying, and they are abusing the child. So now, I know that it is not all about the engagement, it's not all about the money, it's not all about, it is, if I can have all the money I want in the world today, and if the only thing I can give people is money, I am not there yet. Right? So I think as creators, as we are trying to grow in wealth, in influence, in our first of these things, we must still maintain the place of purpose. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I have a question. Yeah, this question I want to ask is one of the most disturbing questions that I personally have battled with.
So what is the question? The question is, as an intending father, who want to be a great father, no matter what it costs me, and I believe we are all here, want to be a great parent also, no matter what it costs us. So how do we safeguard our children that are not up to the age of being able to choose what is right and what is wrong on social media? So how do we safeguard them from making wrong choices because of the information they are exposed on social media? That is my question.
Okay, so I would say that I'm not a parent yet, but at the same time, the beauty that I'm living, right? I would say, if you are talking about from 0 to 5, you structure your screen time. Because I'll say couples, I watched the podcast, you were talking about that. You said that they don't allow their kids, like the boy, to watch any content, like any video, cartoons, you cannot watch. And that is very sad. And it's 0 to 3, rather. So, and it has helped the boy a lot, because when they do adult countries, they teach him how to read, like books, different books. Not just read books, they go outside for him to see different books. I would say that maybe we cannot compare it to what you have in Nigeria, because the person is not in Nigeria. The person that said that, right? So, but at the same time, we should, I think the best way is maintaining the screen time. And also, there are ways that you can deal with teenagers. And teenagers of this age, it takes effort to train them. It takes effort to train them. Because literally everything they want to see is online. Even if you want to correct them, they have a way of just trying to tell you that, this thing, they will ask you questions and you must be ready to answer. That is it. They ask questions a lot and you must be able to answer. So I would say that the best way is teaching them the word of God. Like, I don't want to assume that everyone that is here is believer or but we have a way that we can give them the morals, we can teach them those morals that at least to some extent we know that this thing is wrong, this thing is right. And also, they will go to school, their friends will tell them that these are the things that is happening. You need to check this, you need to check this are the things I want to do for my birthday, I want to do this content, I want to dance on these things. There are ways that you can actually make them understand that this thing is not bad. But at the same time, for now, there's limits to what you can do on this space. There's limits to what you can 2 years. So I feel like understanding your children also matters. I think I've said like 3 things now. Understanding your children also matters, and understanding the way that you think you want to treat them. You as a parent, what are the things, what are the values that you are showing to them? Are you also someone that maybe you don't even have time for them, you don't have time for your kids, you are told that you say, I just want to go out and not work and make money, and you don't even have time for your kids? Those are the things that cause issues. These are the things that cause issues. So you as a parent also understand that you are dealing with teenagers, you are dealing with kids. There are times that you need to just sit with them, converse with them, have a conversation with them. And not just having conversation of, oh, what are you doing today? Have conversation, create a craft that they can do, skills around that they can.
So my question is entirely about America in America. So there is this thing that happens a lot that I'll say, okay, I'm going online to search for ideas. That is the plan. I'm picking up my phone, opening the social media platform to look for ideas. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, am I still looking for ideas or am I already scrolling? And this happens a lot that I don't even know. Sometimes I just try not to guilt-trip myself. I don't know, okay, I was looking for ideas but I did not find any. That's it. But I feel like there should be a way to like differentiate between that. Okay. At one point, let's start knowing that okay, this is no longer looking for ideas, I'm already to scroll. I don't know if you get my question. The point was not to scroll. The point was to look for ideas, but at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I still looking for ideas or just scrolling? So I don't know. It happens to almost everybody. Personally, it happens to me because I always go online to look for ideas to create some fashion styles. So let me say, when I start feeling drained, sometimes I feel empty that I'm not doing anything. So let me just keep going. So when I start feeling drained and my emotions are very empty, I don't get anything. I'm just here, I'm just after.
Okay, so I just want to ask you, sincerely, like, it's what happens, happens to all of us. Actually, but what I would say is, I'll pick from the word of Brian Tracy, who said something that the secret of work is to walk while you say you walk. Let's say I'm a designer, of course I make videos and all those things. But I began to see something that the time I commit to a particular thing or maybe a project is not supposed to be this much. And there are times I have to pay for resources. If I don't work, I know this thing is going to waste. So I began to trace it, then I saw it that this thing is really true. When I say I'm searching for materials, gathering resources, getting ideas, am I really doing those things? So when I go with that mindset that I'm going to work while I say I work, we can easily fish out distractions and fight them.
Alright, so I'm not asking a question, I just want to comment on something you said. Everybody and you forget things like that. If you are approaching the wrong source, you waste time. If I'm looking for idea now as a photographer or a videographer, I'm not going to go to Instagram because something else will take my attention. I'll go to Pinterest. The attention is more of a creative, idea space. It's just like somebody that is owing you money and you guys are having an issue and the person refuses to pay your money. It's a single case. You are supposed to approach civil defense, not Nigerian police. A lot of people make that mistake. So if you go there, approach there, don't worry, get your money, settle boys first, you pay money. At the end of the day, you won't get what you are looking for. You understand? It might take a while, they waste your time. So who will say, this person was never going to carry soldier? That is not the primary role of a soldier. So if you are looking for content and I need ideas, I just go to Pinterest, or I go to Google, or I go to ChatGPT or Claude. We have all these tools. If you just go to Facebook, bam, or you go to Instagram, I promise you'll be lost there. There's no way know how you'll be lost. So if you just check time and you say you spent 1 hour, then you start asking yourself, what is even hiding inside Instagram? I know I'm going to do something, and you can't remember why. So where we go to look for solution matters a lot. So if any one of us is into the creative space looking for one, just ask yourself, this thing I'm looking for, where am I going? Because that is the only way to save time. If you say you want to go through this route, you might eventually find an idea, but I promise you will have wasted a lot of time first, and time management is very important. That's when you start asking yourself, why is 24 hours looking like it's not enough? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, hello. Hello. Okay, so I just want to contribute from the last audience who talked about. Margaret, are you allowed to contribute? Okay, thank you. I want to contribute from the last audience who talked about parental role. I think as a parent, I'm not a present parent. I'm an absent parent. And one of the things. Hello. So one of the things I always encourage is be intentional about parenthood. It's beyond just getting married. It's a whole lot of things. And because there's a digital life, I think I have toddlers, I have teens, and I have maybe young adults gradually. And what I think do is I digitally prime the perimeter of the house. So it's just something I want to initiate. Individuals where we become parents. You have to be intentional about it. You can digitally police your house. From the internet that comes to your house, how it is being configured, who accesses what can be accessed, and what cannot be accessed. In some organizations and establishments, if you go into some websites, you will never be able to browse. If you try to check Facebook in some organization, try to check YouTube in some organization, you will never be able to browse. Like this now is first period in my house, and I can tell you that I have access to Netflix today and yesterday. You will have that access till the end of this week. By Monday, I don't have to go there to turn it off. I've set it that at XYZ on Monday, even their mother cannot even use Netflix. Do you understand now? So we can digitally police. Number two is that I want to say this because we are all learning from each other. I think this conversation has to also be that we in this room becoming a digital army to fight and to be intentionally about the fight. Mr. Miracle said something about purposeful. That's what purposeful is very important. Purposeful paths on the future space. Imagine everybody on this place decides to on a topic as it gets the topic that is working online. Let's say what's the current trend we have now? Anybody can help? Okay, whatever current trend we have now, we all want to come and create a digital content around it with a positive influence. The algorithm starts fighting the negative influence. Then we also become a level of influence that people want to follow their trend. And as much army we can build around those people following our trend, we'll fight the negative trend. Do you remember when it was the issue of people talking about bisexual and homosexual and all that? Religious bodies came en masse. Everybody forget their religious downline. Everybody was talking about it. And over time, that trend and algorithm went down because there was a digital army. Though, because it's religious inclined, of course, the religious body will run at it too. But the bisexual, the homosexual, quietly find their way out of our system without taking anybody to court. So that's my contribution.
Sorry, just a quick 1 minute, please. parents, policing their kids' device, it's a bit tricky these days because we need to think about it from, are we doing it online or offline? Because now when you install, let's say, an app like Zenda on your phone, I can promise you, when you open that app, your intention is to transfer a file, maybe a PDF from one device to another, and you just see one, nasty advert on your screen and all that. And if somebody that is sitting next to you doesn't know the kind of person you are, he will assume that, bros, now this kind of thing they check. So it's crazy these days that even cartoon, just like what you said about this bisexual and everything, there was a time, Hollywood and all of them, they were really pushing this on our face. Like, you watch this movie, this police officer is gay, you watch this movie, this soldier is a lesbian. It was so much that it got to even cartoons. Some of us have watched Avatar, Last Airbender, right? When they did the Legend of Korra, she was a lesbian. And these are cartoons that our children watch. They are just like, oh, it's just cartoon. And if you don't police, like, watch the cartoon, like, watch it or check online, what are the reviews, what are the negative reviews about this cartoon, what is trending about this cartoon. There are some websites for that. The website like Rotten Tomatoes, you see reviews on movies. I have friends that used to be Netflix star. Their job is to be at home 247, their smart TV, Netflix has the serial number. They give them, they sign, and then they watch some part of the movie before the movie is released officially in cinemas. They will tag the movie. Oh, this movie has foul language, has blood. It's not suitable for somebody that is, that was once a rape victim. Maybe there are some scenes, and So there are ways you check before you give your kids these cartoons to watch. Because, for example, I'm not just following Nigerian creators. I follow Western creators as well. And sometimes there are some pages that this is what they are dedicated to. They screen out cartoons that look harmless. But you as an adult, when you listen and you watch that cartoon, or you read the books, you'll be like, what the hell are they trying to teach 3 years old, 4 years old? Like, the content, they have this sneaky way of, inserting, how should I say it, adult-related issues into cartoon for children. And if you just see the book, you are just a book. There's nothing inside, just a book. But if you go to it as an adult and you start thinking, you'll be like, what they are saying here, they are using style to say this. They are not saying it directly, but they are just using style to say it. So it's kind of tricky to be able to do it 100%. Yes, you can filter your internet, VPN, all these safety features, child lock, and so on. But even the device you give your children, you need to go to serious extra. And unfortunately, most parents are not able to take something start. So I really don't know how we are going to fight that fight. But just like you said, we need a digital army. In digital space, they are going is a game of numbers. If I want to, because the time I used to do trending with guys on Twitter, if I want to trend, let's say OP, for example, now, we can be like 100 and we'll start tweeting about OP. Each of us will drop at least 10 tweets with hashtag. Within 30 minutes, we have like over 1,000 tweets. That hashtag has over 1,000 tweets. It will enter trending in Nigeria. But we don't do it on the same day that Man U or Barca are playing, because they have more fans, they have more numbers. So just like what he said, that when religious bodies and everybody were pushing that we don't want to hear anything about bisexualism, the thing came down. That is how powerful Game of Numbers are. So that's just it.
It's a contribution to the discussion we have. Alright. Thank you.
Alright, so my contribution is this. I might be wrong, but I hold the school of thought that as a parent, as an intending one, so we have to inform our children the reason why we might strike them some privileges, like you might not get a smartphone until maybe you're at this particular age that you can know what is right and what is wrong. Even though you have a smartphone, you might have access to social media. So that particular age, you taught them to the extent that when they see something that is wrong, they will also be part of a army that is going to fight against that wrong information on social media. So it's not be like they're saying that information and it's telling what you taught them, or it's making them to react, negatively to you as a father, or to you as a mother, or to the values and virtues of your home. So I think it is not bad if we can just, extend the time. For example, now if they are meant to get a smartphone at the age of maybe 6, 7, they can probably maybe just increase the time, the age when you provide that smartphone for them. That's what I'm trying to say. And let them understand the reason why you are doing that. But when they become older, they can understand what is wrong and what is bad, then they can get a smartphone. That's what I'm trying to say.
Please, I want to okay, so first and foremost, I want to appreciate everybody that was speaking today, because there are a lot of things that you can do, and everything that has been said today is something that we should try out and see if it works. But I believe when it comes to social media, we have people that are producers that produce content, make money, sell, and we have people that are literally consuming content. So I think we should also ensure that we ourselves and our children or our siblings also try to be a producer, more of a producer, right? And not just go there to consume. Also, their agendas online, it's not as if you are really distracted, but, right? Because they make money from your attention. So we need to let our siblings know that, they are fighting, different agendas and propaganda. Also, I think people should stop being heavily reliant on technology, right? So there should be days in the week that you do without technology. There should be things that you do before that you are not doing majorly with technology. Try to also do it without technology, because if you get too heavily reliant on technology, what if the technology is not there? Right, so we need to speak about being a producer, we need to speak about understanding that the platform makes money from our attention. So we need to understand that. We also need to try not to be heavily reliant on technology. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Okay, my next question goes to Ms. Wonderful. As an entrepreneur, that you have to create some things online and just for visibility, and yet you are being bored, and you are bored, and you are bringing a lot of things to make you to be to ginger you. How do you see balance between being bored and yet you have to create some things, you have to post online, and you are seeing a lot of things that can distract you? How can we balance that? I would say, what don't you do that? Sometimes the airport will reflect. The airport will know. As for me, when I am bored, by the time you see, anytime I'm bored, I don't want to use the word bored. When I'm alone, you see my wardrobe, I'll just come inside now. I'll start creating styles, like I'll just be exploring my clothes. I can do like this, I can do like that, I can style this like this. What if I try this style? What if I try this clothes? Just because of this. You need this out to turn out right to come out. So that's for me. Boredom is not that bad. It's not something like, I am bored, I don't know what to do, and you start having this kind of mixed feelings like boredom is difficult. You know how this will be like, I am bored. And for some people, when they start saying I am bored, that means they are already having family issues. Like boredom. It's not supposed to be. But I am here telling you that boredom is not bad. If you can reflect on why you are bored, it means you can just get, if you relax very well, you can get some things, you can get, as for me, as a creator, I can get style, I can create, I can get the opportunity to do stuff while I'm bored.
Thank you so much. So, okay, is this the one word, when you're cycling style, you are that is the correct thing. So, our next question is does social media shape your definition of success?
Okay. Well, for me, I would say social media in itself is not the define success for me. No, social media itself is not. Although I see people who are as successful on social media, but I did not get my definition of success from social media. It's a very terrible place to get it from. Myself, I'm going to post today. I'm going to post quality stuff that I know will get people's attention, because, like, I think someone said it from the audience, it's a game of number. So my life is not always like that. I have down moments, and people that I even say are successful, they also have their down moments even to it. So social media will not define success.
Next question for you. What is the relationship between discipline and digital freedom?
Okay, so thank you for the question. I feel discipline is the act at which you are able to put boundaries to some things by your children. And digital freedom, in the sense that people tend to be like, oh, you see, I feel like social media should not be a way of escape for us. And we say that, oh, I can do whatever I like on this space. So we should, I would say that discipline is the act of setting boundaries, putting structure in place as a person, as a creative, so that you can become whatever kind of person is you are entertaining. So I said that it's like you are setting boundaries. So putting structure in place is what I can't call discipline, right? And why digital freedom in that sense is like maybe you feel like social media is a space of escape for you, but it shouldn't be a space of escape. It shouldn't be a space where you like can do whatever you like. Because at the same time, the media was it's like they do not forget things. The digital space, they don't forget. So whatever you do now, in the next few years, you will still see that people will keep talking about it. Right? You can see instances of this articulate world saga and seeing saga. To them, at that time when they tweeted, they feel like, oh, at that time they tweeted, they feel like they can just do what they like, right? And you can see how she tweeted about mine was and people were saying different things, right? And now you can see that it came back in 2026. People started bringing it out and saying that you said this, you said this. So we should understand that social media does not forget. So we shouldn't see it as a means of, oh, I can do whatever I like. We should set boundaries, put structure in place to what you put out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any contribution?
Yes, I want to contribute to what this blessing was saying. There's some country that you want to travel to, and when you are applying for a visa, you check the social media, you see what you see your messages. Maybe you're a terrorist, or maybe you don't want to come out. I mean, because they believe that with what you're putting out there, they can determine the kind of person that you are. And I also believe that very important. If you can be able to do this on social media, then I agree that you might be able to build this career. So I think it is very important that because of the social media, then we should now put definite things out there. It doesn't make sense. And that is why I personally believe that we have a lot of people who don't care about that because of the public payment from Instagram, TikTok, and X. They just want to get the views and they keep putting things out there. And what they're putting out there is actually damage their reputation as human. Well, I'm not here to judge, but I'm just saying that our life mission and our life goal should be more than the reward, the monetary reward of social media. So we should not destroy our reputation because of the change we want to get paid. It's not change, it's dollar, but okay, let's go with the fact that change. It's one that says that our reputation is more than money. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any contribution from the when you are working and you get to see some other things online that is distracting, that is also distracting. how do you balance it? Like you said earlier, when I'm working and I'm feeling distracted online, the best thing, my sister Isaac said, I will not go to where I was distracted. Okay, let's say I'm looking for a site to recreate or I'm looking for ideas online. I would rather go to where that will be productive for me. I will not just go to where I was distracted. So let's say I'm on Instagram and I'm already distracted as I said. I want like go offline and keep myself busy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This question goes to Mr. What content should you unfollow to create a healthy digital environment?
Okay, I think it's quite simple. Unfollow unhealthy content. Exactly. Because thank you so much, Mr. Kenny, for talking about producing and consuming. You see, of course, I'll be coming from another perspective on what he said. You will eventually produce what you consume. Eventually. So, social media is like, let's say, in school, where I have access to select my teachers. If I'm admitted to UI, I have to submit to UI lecturers. But social media, I can decide to have that as my business teacher. I can decide to have that as my leadership teacher. I have freedom. And you see, I think freedom can easily be abused, actually. And that's why we all need to maintain balance. So I would say, just put a little bit on healthy content if you intend to create healthy content. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's go to the next one. How do we distinguish between authentic living and performative living?
Sorry.
How do you distinguish between authentic living and performative living?
Okay, contenting living. Sorry, authentic living and performative. Okay, wow, this is a very serious question because we see many performative things out there. And from what I said, it means we know. We may not know the first time, the second time, but with time, we know. And you cannot sustain performance with, let me say this, the desire people have is an hunger for authenticity. It's not an hunger. If I'm going to, let's say, a cinema, I'm going to watch a performance. But if you claim to be supplying authentic truth and context to me, meanwhile, you are doing it in a performing way. My hunger will vet what you are doing eventually, and I will know that you are performing for me. The truth can be, of course, let's not even go that far. I'll just say, so we can wrap this up. Authenticity, I will bring it down to leadership. You are there in the content space, you are building influence, right? Everything you do on a daily basis, you are building influence. It means you are telling people to follow your thought pattern, right? And forgotten who said this, somebody said it, forgotten, I can't quote it in person now. The person said, leadership is in authenticity. If there is anything performance, as my admonition, let's do away with it, like generally, even to myself. Because there is always that temptation of seeing this person performing, and sincerely, performance can draw engagement. Sometimes, we know that this thing you are doing is not you, but you are doing, and it can, it has a way of encouraging us to want to do the same thing. But, although doing it right takes time sometimes, but once you get it, you've gotten it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the answer. Next question goes to Ms. Grace. Next question. Okay, what morning and evening routine can you reduce LG phone dependence? Okay, what morning and evening routine can you reduce to reduce on LG phone dependence?
Okay, for me, for my morning routine, I journal. Once I wake up, I tend to journal. And I journal my thoughts. I journal what my day will look like. So, as a person, you can, I'm a creative writer. So, obviously, I would want to journal what my want to talk about or write about. So that is what I do in the morning or pre-students. And also, there are times where I get to meditate. This can apply to me and can apply to every other person. So you can take the time out to meditate. I think that early in the morning is the best time to, you want to think about your life. What am I going to do today? How am I going to be productive this day? So that's excellent. And also for night, you can find anything that you can do, anything that makes you happy, anything that makes you feel it, you can do it. Yeah.
What boundaries should be set for families, going family finances and personal growth?
Okay, so if there's one thing that we lack in this generation is the act of communication, right? Our span of the time span for us to communicate is like really low. Or like only the after that they can talk for long, they can converse, they can have meaningful conversation, and not like meaningful conversation that can be productive, that can make people feel like, oh, this person is speaking from the effect, right, from the sense of wisdom and perspective, right? But I feel like we should learn that everywhere we are find ourselves, we should learn to not be so addicted to your phone that when you are having a conversation with people, you don't be necessarily you are picking your phone. Yeah, even in people building relationships, that affects yours. Because when this one is talking, the next thing you are seeing is another person expressing you. And one thing I've learned is, even with my friends, if we are having a conversation, I don't pick up my phone and start messaging, because I know that we are having, like, we are interacting, we are communicating. I want to see the way you are talking, I want to know the way you are thinking, right? Because some people, they can be intelligent, but the way they think and the way they talk is like, it's the worst, right? I'm sorry to say that, but at the same time, building quality relationship with people, building network with people takes that you need to learn how to communicate with them. You don't have to always pick up your phone every time you want to have a new conversation with people. Let people know what you are. Let people see your own perspective about life. Let them understand how you think too. Because a lot is going on, right? And people want to know how you think. They want to know what you can do. Don't let me use this word. What you can bring to the table, but at the same time, what value are you going to add to them? Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next question to you. How has attention span changed because of constant education and close-friend environment? How has your attention changed? How has your attention span changed because of constant notification and close-friend environment?
Like when you get constant notification on your phone and all those distractions.
Most times. I cannot answer that question because I don't think I've experienced it. But most of the time, lately, I've been offline for my mental health.
Anybody who needs to pick up that person?
Sorry, sincerely, this is, I love this room. It's filled with so much sincerity and intelligence. Thank you, Ms. Blessing. I think she had, this wonderful that she had made reference to the fact that she leaves the online space while together. So, but I think it's something that has happened to me before. Because you can understand the concept of a whole movie by watching YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that before. Yeah, just watch like 10 shots and you understand. There's this series I know I follow now. I follow them too now. You're thinking really up. Young Sheldon, who knows? Young Sheldon. So yes. So I just watched a few and I realized I don't really have to watch these things to move to, So I'm just following the shots. I'm not watching the whole movie again. But one way that's affected, of course, I worked on it, but one thing I suspected I wanted to happen is you no longer want to watch quality stuff that takes time. It's not this Kenyan man, I've forgotten the name of this person again. He said something that the best way to learn anything is to learn it slowly. He said, in fact, he used the word fastest. He said the fastest way to learn anything is to learn it slowly. So if I'm going to be watching a content that is going to change me or influence me, and my attention span has been conditioned to, of course, has been reduced. Yeah, is either more or reduced, has been reduced. I won't be able to submit. That's why you see people, but please pardon me, let me use the church and the mosque, for example. When you see people in the church, they are sleeping. At mosque, they are sleeping when it's preaching time. Because they are communicating a value that can change them. But when it's time for praise worship, it is similar to, of course, I'm not saying it is bad, it is good. But it's similar to the kind of energy and vibes we are getting online when we take out the spirituality part of it. The kind of, the drumming, the reading is what we can vibe to. But when it comes to the truth, now, one of the wisest man that ever lived said something that, buy the truth. When I understood that thing, sorry, I was not supposed to. When I got that thing, that when you are buying the truth, it's not always about money. It's about your calmness. To sit down, I think it's what I've said something about it, that boredom is not something terrible. In fact, boredom sometimes is a blessing. When I sit alone, it means I can learn more because I'm calm. So I think we need to watch it. In as much as these things can help us to learn fast, they can reduce our attention span as well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well, I would like to have it from the people. So I'll now coordinate the session. So let's have it more interactive now.
I can relate what everyone has said regarding the attention span. And I think for me, I noticed it when I saw that I could not spend like time to read the paper once an hour without trying to calm my brain. So I think there was a day I was doing something and I said I was not able to press my phone for probably a few minutes or something. So I put my phone on the table and I was doing something in the house. But I found that unconsciously I would go to the table to just go and tap my phone. So when I'm almost tapping my phone, I'll put myself back. I'm not putting my phone. And I'll go back. I started tapping like multiple times. I saw that this is actually like a problem that I can no longer focus on something for a particular period of time. And even it shows like when you are reading it, even Bible says like you can open your Bible and say, okay, I mean, days if I see someone that says that okay, I'm going to read my paper Bible like probably for an hour without like getting distracted. That is a skill that I feel like without to learn and like probably most that will have to like build over time because I think we destroyed the social media, right? And I think another thing that has affected us would be like maybe self-help books I've read and so my self-help book, there's something about, I don't know if you know something that's called the Pareto principle, that it says that 20% of your effort or 20% of the team will be 20% of the result. One thing that is subconsciously it can affect us in the sense that okay, I'm looking for 20% of this video that puts 80% of the result that I want to get. So let's say I want to watch a video is 2 hours video. And I'm saying, oh, Pareto principle says 20%. So how can I get 20% of this particular thing? And one thing that I feel like YouTube also did affect our attention span is that you produce AI summary. I don't know if you see that thing. So I want to watch a video, I just click AI, so what's the summary of this video? Then, and I feel like one thing that thing has destroyed is the ability to sit down, to build something, the ability to, like, it's destroying that muscle of focus. You cannot sit down and read a book. So I feel like occasionally, intermittently, probably once a week, you should just take out time of like to retrain ourselves, to retrain our brain. I think that's the thing. To retrain our brain to focus on things without like our phone and all. And I like what she said, going offline for a while. One of my friends like sent me a message. He said he was going to go offline for like 2 weeks or so, and he actually did it, like going offline for 2 weeks. And we had depending on the kind of work people do and all. But yeah, that's what my answer is.
Okay, also one thing I've noticed is that I think this is the point where I need to say we listen without judge. Okay. So one thing I've also noticed, let me say the opposite of what we discussed, that social media has already reduced our attention span. It's also that it's also fighting for our attention. Because some of my work needs me to be mentally active. So anytime I'm working, probably I'm solving a problem, I'm mentally fatigued. I'm just like, okay, let me watch comedy for like 10 minutes. Set time, 10 minutes. It's out of 10 minutes. I'll be there for like 30 minutes. I'll be like, even after 30 minutes, I'll see you struggling to like, let me just finish this episode. Let me just finish this comedy. I saw you okay. So, honestly speaking, let me just ask everyone that what is the practical way that we can be sure that when we set a goal, because I like to set a goal for the day, this is how I'm accomplishing for the day, this is the project at hand, I need to get to this milestone at the end of the day. How do we do that when it doesn't want to take a rest and doesn't want to check social media does not take all of your time, and you're like, oh, I didn't do what I was supposed to do today. How do we set that goal? How do we become more disciplined, like a practical way? I used to be disciplined, but not all the time. Okay?
So, okay, yes. Thank you very much for that question. Yeah, that question actually relates with something that I noticed to experience around March, April. So I had this intention of how to finish April in 1 month. So at that time, I was president, but I was feeling sad that why would I finish April in 1 month? So coincidentally, that Nigeria happened, they were electricity. So I removed this card my phone. So as my phone now went off, I felt boredom. Now from that boredom, I now realized that okay, what are the things I've actually left? What are the things I've left that I need to actually do? That was when I decided to do that. So throughout like 1 week, 2 weeks, I realized I focused more on that because my phone, I was able to do my phone on one side and thank you, no light. So what did I now do? No phone. So and the funniest thing, my child doesn't have phones. So it's not like so what did I now do was that I usually check my phone with my neighbor. But that time I used to check my phone with my neighbor, I used it to read. So after I now got my phone and I started doing like some reflection, I realized one thing that works for me is actually putting my phone so that I will actually see my phone. Because even looking at it beside me, I'll be like, she has sent this in me. Or is there someone that actually told me anything, is there something important? And from just opening it and looking like there's something important, I also believe that other things that will distract me from focusing on my goal. So I'll just say basically what actually makes me focus to achieve my goals, just putting my phone in.
Okay, so to me, to a large extent, I read sometime last week that last year, that the founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, he doesn't use a smartphone, and the smartphone he has is only to test the features of Telegram on his phone, how it's working, how it's designed. I think that's very extreme, and to a large extent, that might be the solution. To a large extent, because me personally, when I was still working on my laptop, that I didn't have a smartphone, the phone was not that smart, I was very concentrated and focused. But now that I switched, because back then it was was 80% on laptop for work, 10% on phone. But now that it's about 70 to 80% on phone for work and maybe 10% on laptop, I realize that you just spend the whole day, the whole time. So I think putting your just maybe selling your phone.
So I remember something someone said something. Probably I'm also trying to maybe something I read somewhere. Respect to doing the things you said you want to do instead of like distractions. I think maybe one or two things, or maybe two or three things. The first one is probably having something at stake and attaching the reward system to your activities. Yeah, so probably the reward system is something that like people do very frequently. Once I do this, I will take myself out, and once I do this, I'll get kicking a problem or something. But then that one too might not be sustainable because what if you have the means to take yourself out and that stuff. Another one would be like, what's at stake? Okay, so maybe you, I don't know, out of the money that you say you don't have, you choose somebody and say, don't give back this money, but I'm done with this task. That can be an extreme. Maybe once you try all the possibilities and you're not doing anything. Maybe probably I feel like once your money is attached to something, it helps you take more action, right? And another thing can be probably to segregate entertainment. So let me make it more practical. Let's say your work doesn't have to do with YouTube. Your work doesn't have to do with some of the social media. So you can say that for the social media that my work does not have anything to do with it, I will only use them on the laptop. Then probably I have to install it on my phone. Anytime I want to watch it, I only have to use the laptop for that. So there are some of these things that probably you can use.
So there's something else I want to talk about that. You talk about God when you're not like that. Sometimes you wait until God comes. And that's the problem. That time you can easily just pick up our phones and just ask God. But there's something that someone told me once like that. Intentionally by yourself creates boredom. Like by yourself, don't say this time I want to start, I won't do anything, I won't touch my phone, I won't do those things those things that I find exciting. Like intentionally just create boredom. So that time that you're creating boredom, you are calm, you'll be able to reflect on the stuff. So I feel like that works too. Like intentionally keep your phone away. Intentionally don't subscribe on your Netflix or whatever it is because of boards.
Don't buy it.
One more thing. I think most of us are underutilizing our phones. Before BlackBerry, iPhone, Android, even Symbian phone, for those that can say about Symbian phone, some of us used to use this thing back then, organizer, these gadgets, where we set all those things. On my phone, I have about 23 alarms for different purposes. Time when I wake up, when I need to sleep, when I need to read, when I need to do some video editing. Before I came here today, I didn't know the time I was going to get here. I know the time I'm going to leave my house. So sometimes most of us we tend to use our alarm probably once in a year. And it has to be something that can stay. Maybe they tell you that you must get to the embassy at 2 o'clock tomorrow. That's when you remember your phone has an alarm feature. So things like your alarm feature on your phone, you can set them. And don't just set one. For the same activity, you can set two. You can just put like 5 minutes difference because sometimes there might be a reason why that particular time won't work. So if I set an alarm that I want to wake up 5 a.m., for one reason or the other, that 5 might not work for me. And I can be a bit sluggish. But I promise you, next 5 minutes, that phone will let me rest. So eventually I will get up. So if people can use the alarm feature of their phone to set time, it's a kind of like a teacher, a reminder that is telling you that you have to reduce the way people
go on social media, has it made them more focused? Because before you know it now, you subscribe, then the next 1 to 2 hours is gone. So do you think it's making people to be more focused? Do you think they should still increase it?
I don't think it's making people to be more focused. I think it's making profit to be more focused. Because I don't know why I'm very sure that whatever the price of data is, you will buy.
Just like complain, but buy.
I mean, I think
in Nigeria money, I'm just saying, if you want to actually calculate what Nigeria spends money on after food, let's say, maybe for people that drink, you can add drinks to it. We're talking about data. I think data is involved in the cost, maybe 5 things that Nigeria spend money on. So I don't think
it's expensive. Do you think people should not be more serious about what they do?
I don't think it's not expensive.
Some people can execute by data. Have to make that money.
We are seeing it from the perspective of a business owner, and for some people that they can't replace the data they like. For example, just come to your income stream. I know that I'm making 10k per month. If I'm doing data 1,000 naira, I want to make sure next month 10k is certain. But for somebody that even though they don't have a defined income stream, that they just know that they go to their status and write, I'm broke or I'm not feeling fine. Like 20 guys will run inside their DM and say, how far, what's up? And this one will press 2k, that one will press 5k. They will burn the data in here. So it just comes down to
you also have TikTok right now. Just be dancing right there. People will give you those numbers.
So I think I don't want to forget. That's why I'm trying to myself to the questions you were asking. I think that answered your question. Did you answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question we're trying to ask on, maybe leaving our homes for a while, yeah, it's works, but like I was thinking from the word of Saturday, he said we are building an army. So it's a fight to fight. Number one is a fight against ourselves. When we look at the 9-to-5 system in Nigeria, it's like we are underestimating those people sometimes because we are creatives and we are freedom. Well, I'm not going to talk about that, but let's look at that system. That system was created to make whatsoever business that was made for to work. Because by fire by force, you must resume work maybe 8 or 9, they will be there. Then till 9. Sometimes there are some places that you can't use your phone while you're at work because the company structure needs to look like that. So why not import such system into our lives? It is creation of systems and structures that keep us accountable to ourselves. Now, I'll talk about this last week. As creatives, we have freedom, right? We can, or self-employed, like we will call ourselves. We have freedom, but when we wake up in the morning with a consciousness of, I'm answerable to myself if I feel at these things. You see, for me, I live a kind of life that if I fail now, there's nobody that's coming to help me. And I let myself in. If I fail to read this book, nobody will read this for me. And I will remain who I am. It's like, you see, I don't want to forget names this evening. Somebody said something that if you leave yourself dormant, you will not improve. Not that you will be going back. Not that you will remain that way you are. You will be going back. So when we see it this way that I'm responsible for the quality of life my children will come to meet, and they would copy that life, then improve on it. When I see that the wife I'm going to get married to, my brother was talking about parenting, and Saturday talked about intentional parenting more on it. When I see that this quality of life that I'm going to structure is what they are going to need to even do some things to be hard for us. So I would just say systems and structures.
Okay, I think I want to appreciate everybody, and I think we have all contributed beautifully. But before the speakers have the wrap up, I really want to suggest to us that there is no absolute way to it, but there is an intentional way to it from what all the speakers have said. From our personal self, to our friends, to our work, to our growth, to our person. But there is one thing I always use as a case study. I call it the 5 pillars of your life. So I want to share. Before sharing that, in the last 6 months, I've been battling with my health, and it came suddenly. And I realized that I was talking to 2 young developers. I said, in as much as you sit on your PC for 1 hour, 2 hours straight, you are prone to severe health issues at 40. And they will start manifesting from your 30s. You are not likely going to experience a lot of it in your 20s. Now, what do you start feeling before sharing those life? You start feeling some stiffness in your neck. If you press your phone more than 5 hours daily, you will feel it. If you use your laptop for more than 2 hours daily, you will feel it. You feel like it's just a normal pain that is just going to go and come once in a while. Sometimes you want to administer with painkiller. Do you know what you are doing? You are harming your heart, you are harming your kidneys, and you are harming your spinal cord. Now, that leads to how we also use these devices while we are at work and while we are sleeping, or while we are lying down, not sleeping. While we are at work, often the time we don't even sleep, we don't even sit upright. We slouch, we bend. We think we have the control of the body until the day one day the body has the control of you. You have had history of people who have health issues, they don't smoke, they don't drink. Even all the health issues you say, people who commit crazy atrocity are supposed to be real to them. You see faithfuls experiencing them, and you are like ask questions. So our digital life requires intentionality about our body. But often the time, people who build the body are only building a loan that does not last. But people who build the brain are building a lifetime. Right? When you look at the likes of Wole Soyinka, Baba Afe Babalola, and a lot of them, they live up to their 90s, agile ending. You know what they experience? They also are in this digital world because all the transactions happen on their phone. They follow through with big numbers. Right? But you know what they don't joke with? Early morning walk, healthy food, low oil. Right? And they expose themselves to sunlight. I do a lot of walking. People who know me, they always see me just walking aimlessly around. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, I have it on my phone. My phone will just be, it's time to walk. Even if you are playing before, I'll just tell you I'm coming, I'm going. You see, between the hour of 9 a.m. and 11 has the best sunlight for the day. Experience it. Take 30 minutes walking it. It's good for you. And when you are going, please avoid your phone. Me myself, I'm a victim of the phone. But what I have done in the last 2 months now is to dedicate to people who love to use the phone. Look, it's a disaster I'm passing on to them. That's the truth. But they are enjoying it. Even if I don't pass it on to them, they will still be there. So I rather help them make that disaster work better for them. Because I'm paying for it. So it is not giving you a pain. It must not bring you pain. If it is not giving you a pain, it must not bring you pain. Ask yourself, what is the cost of kidney today? And what is the cost of bag of pure water? Because the moment you are on your system, you are burning out from the brain to the eye to the nerves. Let me ask a question. Do you have anybody that have experienced tingling in the feet in the last 6 months? Tingling. Just wait. You have experienced tingling on your feet in the last 6 months. Wait. Yeah, maybe sometimes when you just want to walk and you feel one or not bada pains at the foot. Maybe anywhere around the foot, maybe dull or something. Maybe for some of us that have not experienced it, age is helping. But ask anybody in their mid-30s, 40s, 50s, they are heavily experiencing it. You're just going and just feel one dull pain in your stomach. You just want to stand up and you just feel one kind of crampy pain. It's telling you that you are dying. And you know the first attack you are having is your cell phone. Because you can be positioned like this for the next 2 hours and you are just positioned. You know what you are not doing? You are not allowing blood flow from here to circulate properly down. You can do like this while you are lying down and you are like this and you are not helping your spine for a very long time. So I derive these 5 things. First, pray well. Pray, oh. Pray so that you will not pray. Oh. Pray well. Whatever happened in the physical has been concluded in the spiritual. Pray well. Look, praying well is not just about praying hard. It's about praying right. You see some people, they come to the mountain. They just park their SUV. They come to the mountain, kneel down, raise up their hand, and give glory and praise. Just 15 minutes. They are going. They are landing a contract for 10 billion. Are you getting my point now? And some people will use the old day, the old month, the old week, and it's not manifesting. Fine, there are two people. Some are having spiritual savings, some are having spiritual spending. So that's not the time for that today. But pray well. Number 2, eat well. Eat well. Bread is not food. I'm a victim of bread. Bread is not food. Rice in the morning, rice in the afternoon, rice at night is not food. Yes, it can have different flavors of rice, but it's not food. Eat veggies, buy fruits, have a fruit time for the day. It's not every fruit, but even if it's just 200 naira watermelon daily, you know it's in your routine. There are no the fruits that work for your body. It's not all fruits that are fruits that works for you. If you are AS, there are some fruit that doesn't work for you. They will work against you. Ask medical doctors. And fortunately, we have the best guy around us here. Our best consultant, AI. Ask AI. Tell AI your medical personality. Tell AI your life routine. Let him give you a diet plan for the month. You will be marveled at what he's going to present to you. And by the time you implement it, earlier this year, I had high potassium. It was on 6.9. And you know the only thing that corrected it? Diet. If I did not use diet, the normal is 5.5. If I did not use diet, I have to be on a particular job that is 60,000 naira every week. Sometimes it's not the money. But when I start the job, I must not stop. I have been hypertensive in the last 2 months. I'm sharing this so that we would be able to manage ourselves when we get there. I have been hypertensive in the last 2 months. I have gone from 157, which I've never had before. Now I'm on 132 on my lifestyle. Eating right. So eat well. Number 3, exercise well. Have a routine. You don't have to come out to do all the hard exercise. Have a routine from your room that you have to do that helps you excel and helps you triumph. Number 4, read well. I was marveled when Mr. Miracle was giving those quotes from Brent Trace, Johnson. I was marveled because these are books I've read, these are quotes I've come across. You know why? The richest currency is what you have read. The richest currency is what you have read. And the last one is relax well. Take time to relax, connect with people. Relax with people, not just with yourself. It goes a long way. Then I have a question that I want to throw back to the panelists so that we can go back to the session. This is like an icebreaker of everything we have had. The panelists, we have a disconnection with the Gen Z and maybe some of the millennials, not all, and the Alpha Gen most importantly. How do we manage a workflow with the digital life we have and the real life we have with the generational differences? Imagine I have on my team a Gen Z, an Alpha Gen, and a millennial. Sir, technically, not infringing into their privacy, but at the same time making sure that they are on check. I have different branches. I have different generations working there. How do I technically manage my workflow so that at least for the salary I'm paying, I get results? And for the work they are doing, they get value. Because wherever you are working and you are not improving, that you cannot leave that work to get a better work. That means it's a disservice to yourself. Am I making any sense? And these are the jobs young people run to now. Supermarket job, they are paying 80,000 naira. hotel job, you are paying 70,000 naira. Before you know it, they become Olosho as a corporate Olosho, like it's crazy. Young people become Yahoo boy over time because they are getting so exposed to how Yahoo boys spend money, and they also want to do ritual. Kidnapping becomes so interesting because it's paying off. So how do we technically address that? It's wonderful. What are the entrepreneurial advice you would give to young people, most especially the Alpha Gen and the Gen Z? As they work, what are the business ideas they can do? As I call it the rule of becoming a manager and investigator. I work for people. I'm a CEO, I'm a founder, I'm a chairman of a business, but I still work for people. But what I do now is I migrated from being a staff in the last 20 years to being a consultant to them. But I still work for them. If they don't give me the job, I will do. So I'm still their staff. I'm my client's employee. I don't know, maybe you get that psychology. Yeah. I'm my client's employee. It dictates the tone. I can only advise as a consultant. The difference between a consultant and an employee that gets salary is I don't get salary. I give my professional charges and I get paid. But it's wonderful at the ideas. As a staff working for less than the minimum wage, where I am working, studying people that come from what are the business ideas I can do. I can use my digital life to amplify from where I'm working to have extra income without doing the side hustles that are side hustles. Then this lesson, what's the value of a young person's life in the digital space? Someone chatting a random person, a random guy, a random girl, and they hook up somewhere, and for just 20 or 30,000 naira, the life is gone. What's the value of a young person's life? These are questions I want to bring.
I don't know who wants to go first.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I would say that we are in a generation in which there are a lot of noises presented earlier, and a lot is happening, a lot of things are happening. And if we are, earlier I said we should guard our hearts, right? Because if we do not know what you want to do, if you do not know the value you want to give out, you can easily be swayed away. So I would say that as an individual, you should know, you should understand who you want to become. You should know your purpose. And that takes us back to asking the question why, who am I? If someone says, who do I want the person to see, deal. So I think that was an individual, personally understand that who am I determines what I want everyone person to see and the value that I'm giving out there, right? As a person, I'm also a Gen right? And I know what I want to see in my future. I know the kind of person that I want to become, right? And I would not live my life like every other person, because we should also understand that we don't have to live our life like every other person. I have my life to live. I have the results that I want to show you, the results I want people to see. Not just people, not that I want people to see the results. Like to myself, what impact am I making? And that's, for me, I want to become someone that they would say that, oh, this is the solution. And once you hear my name, you know that this is what I do, this is the kind of person I'm becoming. So you should understand who you want to become. You should see yourself like become kind of person that you want people to see. I think that's one of the things I would say. And don't be swayed away by the noises. Don't be swayed away by the noises. A lot is happening in our country, a lot is going on, and we could see how that they say this was private chefs who are going to cook. So it's who you are, like who do you want people to see, like who do you want people to see. I think that's all. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you for that question. And as for me, I would say business idea for Gen Z as side hustle. Firstly, before anybody can say you want to work, you cannot just jump into any business like that. Let me say you have to search your environment where you are, the scarcity in that place, that your place of work, the kind of people that come through to your workplace, what are they missing? If I add this, okay, let me just go ahead. For example, this place is a workspace. What kind of thing that can I sell there? There are those people that patronize us there, that they can easily purchase there. So you have to check our environment, the kind of people that come to our workplace, what they can buy, what they are missing, and they are conveniencing gap. How I can run the business that will not clash with my job and my business. And another thing I want to add is just search to yourself. What can I do? What I love to? What do you love to that? It is easy for me to market. Like me, like myself. I'm the type that I don't really know how to express myself. I don't know how to talk to people. This is my first time meeting people like this. So, and for me to go and meet people, like telling people, talking to people, like advertising my business, that this is what I do, I have to like sit back, learn how to do it. Sometimes in my room, I'll just have to place camera like this. I'll start talking to my camera. What if I just make this person know? How do I talk to this person? How do I patronize this person? Okay, I want to introduce myself, what I do, what I sell. So, what you love doing that you can easily tell people about. Like, as for me, I mean, like I said earlier, I don't know how to express myself, I don't know how to talk to people. But for some reason, I believe that I can express myself through my dressing. This person you know the way I used to do this thing, that the way you dress, the way you address that, okay, this person, no, she's not someone who can just, no, you get to a guy like this. No, she's not, the bad people, you know how to do things like that. See the way you address, no, sorry, go to the back side. And we know ourselves. So I'm that kind of person that I express myself through my dressing. That this is what I know. You cannot just talk to her anyhow. You cannot just rubbish anyhow like that. At least. So that is what I do, and I try to model myself. I sell fabrics, and before every Sunday you see me like this. I wear what I said. I wear my brand. Okay, even before I come to talk to you about my business, this would have seen it for me. So that is my answer to the question.
Wow. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Okay, so I think I'll be stealing from your points. They have helped me so much. Well, for me, currently, I do more creative directing, and I see a lot of people, let's say designers, who are giving themselves into one particular thing. In fact, it's really video editing, but they plateau at that particular thing. They are just getting money, and there's no plan of transitioning. In everything we do, I believe there must be a plan for transitioning. I'm not proud of my schedule currently. I'm not proud of it. Sometimes I have to work morning to night. 9 to 5, intentionally crafted, and come back at night, come and work night till. I'm not proud of that. If I'm going to do it, let it be for something I can hold on to. If I read from morning to night, I'll be proud of it that I read from morning to night. But I have my plans. What is it? I know I need to do this work for a couple of months, then I transition into something better that will earn me the time I can use for what I really want to do. Let me explain what I mean. So I said that I'm a creative director. What I do majorly now is centered on video editing and graphic design. I don't want to spend the whole of my life making designs. That's not where I want to end. One of the things I did, I'll just give practical examples. One of the things I did some months back I think Mr. Ken saw me when I was working on this, was to create a course. I started from smartphone design course. I know if I create a course, it is now a product people can purchase. I don't need to wait for you to come and hire me as a designer before I make my money. I'm teaching others to learn the same skill, get the same value from me. So I'm exchanging values for money. Now, the second thing I'm currently working on, which is going to afford me the kind of life I still want to live, is I'm currently working on a PC course. A kind that is not common. So I'm currently working on a Photoshop course connected with CorelDRAW, and I'm giving my PhD files out. I'm creating something irresistible. Why am I doing this? I don't want to work for the number of grants I'm working with now. No. Regardless of the amount of money you are paying me. If I can make use of, and I think this is what many creatives used to do. There are people that once a brand hires you, let's say they are paying you up to 150,000 from that particular brand, you sell yourself to them and you look back in years, you cannot give anything to it. So I think I was making sure that our meet is blessing to collect a lot of money from our artists. Entrepreneur is a great skill. If I'm a skillful person, of course, skillfulness I'm talking about the digital skills now. I have the digital skill and I'm limiting it to somebody coming to hire me. That is going to take a lot of my time, and I'm spending my time, not just my time alone, my body. Like what Sadide said. Sadide has one shared this thing with me before about our body, what is eventually resulting. There was a time he came in to the city in one place at night, then he was telling us all of this thing about food. And it's true. Now, I think what I would say to wrap this up is you can endure for a while, but it's not the kind of life you want to live forever. So while we are doing the work now, let's create another system that can give back the reward that we are working for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
So, do we have a contribution from the inside? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Concerning the question you asked, I don't know how to work the answers. So concerning how we interact in the workplace with different generations, I believe that these generations, they have different motivations. So my generation is motivated probably by career, and then this Gen Z, then after they are motivated by money. That is why some of them believe that they don't have to have a corporate job, want to have like what we see as a job, but they can still make it in life because of social media. A lot of people want to become like Pella, they see Pella as their mentor. So that is a change in mindset, a change in the way we think. And now, if you are an employer and you employ someone who sees Pella as a mentor, it's going to be expected to be making the kind of money collects in the way he is working. It's not going to be motivated to actually do what you are trying to do. So the question is, how do you now motivate that kind of person that the reward that you are trying to give him is not what is motivating him to want to work? So that is the problem. I think in the workplace, what we need is we need to get attention to the individual. We also have the agency that is still believing in this kind of honest work, this kind of 9 to 5. They still believe that. So I think when we are hiring, we need to look for people who still have that kind of mindset that believe that 9 to 5 is still a great job, despite the fact that they are working with social media. So salary is not a given to pay your bills. I don't believe that. So we just have to look for mindset matters a lot. So I think we need to get great people with great minds into our company. That is how we can get reward for what we are paying them for. But if we do not have great minds, if we have people who do not believe in what we are doing, we are doing because we will not be able to do what we want to do. We are just wasting our time because the people we employ, they are not ready to, they do not believe in the vision, they do not have the same mindset to make it work. The motivation of what they are giving them is not enough for them. So they will be looking for different ways to just live that environment. So I think we need to look for the right people, and that's looking for people with the right mindset. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to appreciate all the speakers again and everybody that participated. It's been an open discussion this morning. Some of us have even shared some of the things that we are knowledgeable about, which I really appreciate. But I believe for us to learn, I believe in repetition. And this question is about leaders bound. The last time I asked IBK, where can we have access to video recordings? So is it that it's being posted in the WhatsApp group, and is it possible to maybe an audio version so that some of us can just be listening to maybe as we are doing workout or as we are walking? That's the first question. Then the second question is about strategy when it comes to social media. I believe the strategy of Dangote or Tony Gibson is different from the strategy of an average young man. Most of them, they don't even use social media that well. They use it just to build their brands. They do more offline. I think maybe when you are at a certain age, there's a way to use social media. So I just want to ask, how do you create your own data social media strategy?
I think those two questions are for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The first question, let me take this one after the other. The first question. Well, we have been posting, but I think only one episode has been posted inside. Okay, 2 episodes have been posted on our YouTube, so they can be found on the YouTube. And of course, what you just said about the audio version, Mr. Ebukun can hear, is our technical director, and he will help with that. Yeah. When you talk about very rich and very busy, they buy everything. And you don't have to have a lot of money to buy everything. As we all are seated here, we've got friends who are much more ideal than we are, and they don't even have bearings of life. Am I correct? When you look at them very well, they have much more time than we have, and they don't even have anything doing for their life. Okay, so I've been doing something in the last 15 years. My NGO was founded September 9, 2004, and it was 20 years 2024. So when it was 15, I changed the paradigm. In that 20 years, I was able to impact over 10,000 young people by training. But the result I can see was less than 100. The very big result I can see is about 64. The very actual result I can see is about 14. Among the 14, I can say I have about 3 associate professors from that school. I have a beauty CEO, company owner. I have a Reverend Mrs. and the pastor's wife doing very fine. And I have a few of them. So I decided to change the paradigm from that to giving people what I call value for vision. Instead of giving you money, I would rather buy you the depending cost and give it to you. I will not give you money. So no matter how brilliant your idea is to me, when you bring it to me, I will not give you money. I will give you a video course on grant writing. Write it, learn it, start writing grants. You can be lucky. And you know the biggest grant you can have is the internal grants that people don't look at. So not to deviate from the topic. Young people, we young people, have the capacity to evolve more than the older generation. But you see what this Dangote and Light do? They buy people and they buy people's time. They use other people's money, other people's mindsets, other people's movements, and other people's morals to create their own values. Dangote do not have any money to start with. He started with the resource, 500,000 seed capital, becomes everything Dangote is. And he learns the art of governance. He started growing with political associates and friends. He collects their e-cash and clean it for them through investments. Then he buys people's time as researchers and professors from the universities. And he let them do the research about cement from the ill cash collected from either investors or political associates, he invested in the research work of the cement guys. They did a competitive market analysis. They evaluate Elephant Cement and Lavage, right? And look at where they are lacking, and it's chalk. Dangote that came with the most affordable cement fee 10 years back is actually responsible for the increase in cement price. Do you understand now? That is to tell you how long these people have the tenacity to stay and to buy as much as they can. But you know what he did not do? He didn't just buy these people by paying them off. He bought them off by buying them in. So he knew he was going to use cement for them. So they all became directors and consultants, and he moved to oil. He tried so many things. He tried the sugar, it worked. He tried juice, dancer field, he left it. He tried tomato. He tried steel and mining, that's Ajakuta steel rolling. He is the only reason why it's not working till today. So when you want to become Dangote, you would spend lesser efforts than become Pella, the internet monster. Because Pella himself understands that it is top bottom. Dangote is bottom top. So which one do you want? Do you want to live on eggshell of what doesn't sustain you? And that's where you have to create your own digital life by creating a digital army. You need people you don't know more than people you know. Because it's natural for people that you know that say, is it not Jide that we knew how he grew up? Is it not the same Jide that we used to give 500 naira that used to come to our house and eat morning, afternoon, and night? Is it not the same Jide that is my cousin, uncle, brother's friend that I knew how I did his admission? So don't cage yourself in the box of reality. Explore. Live outside the box to empower yourself to live without the box. And it is because some people also want to live without the box, they go illicit. They want to do the unconventional. They want to strike differently. But guess what? The pain is there is a consequence for everything. And you cannot live the life of Dangote if you cannot pay the price of Dangote. People often say, I can't read the biography of rich people. You are a fool. Your generation can actually go poor again and again and again. Do you want to read the biography of poor people? You have to learn how some people have been able to keep generational wealth so that you can start a generational asset for your own generation. And you know the biggest thing to keep now? Honestly, no money for your kids. I need to really share that. For the married and the about to get married, don't buy stock, no vex, no buyer. It doesn't work again. You are not the owner of the company, you cannot have more than the company. Build with people you don't know. Stay with them over time. You will face betrayal. Embrace them when they betray you and let them go. And live with the ones that doesn't betray, that defeats your existence and your psychology of listening. Go and check the biggest ministries. The ministry that stand the test of time in the Christendom. They were ministries built in partnership. The Baptists, the Methodists, the Anglican. They transcend generations and they are still existing. You know how many Pentecostals have rise and fall over time? Just over one internet saga, everything is gone. Baba Adekunle did not build with him alone, he built with people. You need to build with people, and your family and friends can work if they align. But if they don't align, don't get restricted. Move out of the shell. Like they always say, a prophet is not always appreciated in his own what? In his own territory. Go out, explore. I have said it to people, the best thing you can do for yourself as a young person is to travel the world. Don't live by a stereotypical version of me that says, I'll make it in Nigeria. Yes, you can. But if you have the privilege of being in Harvard, go. If you have the privilege of being in Cambridge, go. If you have the privilege of being in Minnesota, go. But don't go as the mindset of going to hustle, because you will never ever be able to become happy. Go as a mindset of being able to go to learn. That is when you can live. Because when you get there, you are going to meet people. I did school here at some point of my life. And immediately I got to the state, the country, the first thing I did was to identify 2 of the citizens. I was coming from Nigeria, where I had a business before coming down. You don't think I would just go there and go and get a job or maybe some few rands per hour. No. I went in there, and you know what I did? I met 2 of the citizens. They are egocentric in that country. I don't want to mention so that I will not be like I'm stigmatizing. And you know what I did? I allowed them to be the CEO and the CEO of the company. And you know what I was? I was just admin officer. And I'm the owner of the company. But guess what? Anytime we drop our CV, our company profile, they see their citizens and they are okay and they give us a job. That was the day I came up with the code that states that 1% of a successful business is better than 100% of a struggling one. If you are given 1 million naira, right, from a share capital of a 100 million naira company, and you are given 100 million naira to start your own business, I'm sure almost everybody in this room wants to go with 100 million naira. But you know what you are going to do? You are going to face burnout. You are going to face economic issues. But you see that 1 million naira is coming effortlessly. You have time to go and play golf. You have time to read. But you are still sure 1 million naira is coming. Am I correct? You are using other people's time. And there is a hierarchy to this thing. A leader, a true leader, is that leader that allows other people to lead behind him and lead better. You know what it is for you to enter a room of leaders? A room of leaders, and everybody that is a leader in the room stood up for you and say, our leader is here. What biggest flex can you have other than that? So adopt a mentor and allow yourself to mentor others. What did I say? Adopt a mentor and allow yourself to mentor others. There was a day I was running in the traffic, and the guy goes, me, I don't have a car. I'm always proud to say I don't have a car. And the guy just parked. And it's something young people need to know. We need to know that you can have a leader that is promiscuous. He carries woman every other day. It's not your own road to go and carry woman. He drinks every other day. It's not your own road to go and drink. He smokes every other day. It's not your own road to go and smoke. Because he probably has 100 million rand to change his kidney if anything happens. You don't have that money. In the end, there are secret places, and you wonder that, are you sure if they are gathering this? But it's not your case to judge. Pick what you came to learn and just move on. Now, I have a question. Maybe it will be one of our rapid questions. Can our speakers and everybody contribute? What should be the role of governments and community leaders to the intentionality of our digital life as young people? Government and our community leader. Banditry wouldn't have been easy like this if the digital life is well censored. I am correct, right? Because bandits know that they can adopt and put you on camera and it go viral, and people start contributing for you. It's easy for us to all contribute to a kidney patient to get treated, rather than to all contribute to build a kidney dialysis center that is for the community. Can you see change of perspectives? To build a kidney dialysis center would cost us less than $1 billion. And this year, what people have contributed on people who have kidney issues, one evaluate and gather that statistics, is probably over $1 billion. So my question is, what is the role of our government and community leaders and religious government, community leaders and religious leaders in the deliberate reshaping of our digital life? I want to have Yogi Peters, our facilitator.
Okay, so I will very please how celebrate that. Thank you so much. So from what you said, I have my answer. In fact, I was thinking, what am I going to say to this very big question like this? But people, the government should leverage on people. We have brilliant minds in the country. If we can look into, I'm speaking to the government now, if we can look into getting young people who can actually think and bring this problem before them and tell them the compensation behind them solving this problem, they are ready to work. I mean, for me, even without the money, it is not a prestige to know that a government is depending on my solution. I will work myself out for it. Because I know once I solve this problem, I'm solving the problem of the nation. So we should not just, as governments, as religious bodies, as all these big bodies, we should not just look at what we can do alone ourselves sometimes, because we can be limiting. But when we extend it to the people within the country, now let's look at the number of people that have traveled abroad and are doing wonderful things. There's a guy. Is into the tech space. It's just one of the few that are doing very well in the US. Imagine somebody going from Nigeria and becoming a tech giant in the US. What would have cost the country? Imagine, just give such person a problem. In fact, this question, I know this is going to the online space, but I'll say this respectfully. Not everybody in the government knows we have this kind of problem that Sadie just pointed out. Not everybody in the government knows we have this. And how are they going to tackle it until they see it this way? So now, this particular question is doing the work of informing them that, imagine, there are some apps we download today that are not going to work in Nigeria. It works in Canada. There are times that I downloaded some VPN. And I was like, and we think those people are just people against us, but they are just censoring the usage, which have a positive effect to the nation, to their own nation. If they don't work for us and may be affecting us, we should also create our own. We want it to work for us. So I would say that we should leverage on the brilliant minds we have.
My answer to that question is very simple. I would tell the government that they should please that they should give us the youth, they should give us the power to exploit our talents. The youth of Nigeria, we know ourselves, we are very brilliant. They should just, and one of the things that I believe that all these guys are doing to us, they are limiting us. We are limited to some things, and sometimes you have to look at it very well. It is not that we don't know how to express, it's not that we don't know how to bring out our power, our superpower as a youth. So I feel like the government they should empower us, give us that courage to bring out our inbuilt power. Thank you.
So as anyone else said earlier, I would also say that the major thing that government can do is empowerment, right? Using an initiative that can bring people together. Someone once said something and said that most Nigerians, like individually, we tend to be productive, right? We tend to bring enough results. But once it comes to like community, we find it so hard, right? So in a space where they can bring people together, like who said earlier, that like people, they need to leverage on people. A lot of people are doing so well, and bringing them together, when you see from this person's perspective, like I would also want to appreciate Mr. Jibe, if I'm correct. He mentioned a lot of things that are so profound, and I can say that major thing that I mentioned, most of it, so I'm sorry for saying it, most of this government don't know, and it is until we bring people around. A lot of things that we see online, and we see people that build app, they build something like that, and we see that this person now saying so. And if the government can bring like empowerment or initiatives that can help to really go a long way, I think the best thing to do is to leverage on people. Yeah. Thank you.
So, we discussed something earlier. You said how can government help? And we were discussing something earlier. If the end is bad, it will affect the whole world. It's trickle down. So, it's a two-way street. First, we need to elect people that have something else that can be there. When you ask people in other countries what they think about Nigeria, they tell you that country has resources, that everything, but they lack leadership. There was a past president of the US, I can't remember the man's name. He said if they had the resources Nigeria had, they would have fought World War II. They would have controlled the world with the resources we had. That is how rich Nigeria was. So, if you have good leadership, it is easier. If you check countries like China and some other countries, they really censor their internet to the point that if as a content creator you want to put something out, you need to register as a content creator that I want to be talking about cars. They need to see certification and things that you have before you push content out. So you are not just pushing out some bullshit that will endanger people's lives. It's not like Nigeria that anybody who doesn't have social media start telling you, if you want to last long, you better drink this and that. And that thing has some, acidic reaction in your body. But because you want to follow what is trending, like somebody, a particular celebrity said you should drink this and that, you use 1 hour, you are damaging your kidney in the process. Also, we need to have, most people, I mentioned something the other time that a lot of cases that are civil cases, people take it to police, cases that should naturally be in civil defense. People don't know organizations that do some things in Nigeria. And because they don't even know where to go. Yes, US have police, Nigeria has police, they have army, they have border patrol, they have customs, they have CIA, they have NIA, people don't even know. So if you are saying somebody should, how should I explain it, people that have talent and not, they go to other countries, they are doing fine. And you ask yourself, how come Nigerians have the best robotics company in the US and other countries that maintain fiber optic cables under sea? And they are citizens of this country before they left. It's not like they don't have sense. A lot of tech groups are leaving. They just want, before you get this guy going in Nigeria, they what's up? Gone. Doctors, gone. So we need to really start, how should I say it, help people who have this brain, who have these ideas to manifest it. When Yar'Adua was still the president of Nigeria, due to the issue of insecurity, he went to Israel. And he met these two guys, I'll never forget, because if you watch NTA very well, you realize the NTA you watch during the day is different from what you watch at night. True. Midnight. True. And they show these two guys, I think I'll not forget their name. They are Nigerians, but they built a particular technology that helps armor tank to survive bomb impacts. So even if you fire a bomb at that armor tank, it's like you shooting at a level, nothing will happen. So Yar'Adua was inside this tank with one of their top generals, and there was another general outside that commanded a T-22 what they call it, tank, to shoot at that tank that the president of another country was inside. Nothing happened. Yar'Adua said, well, Nigeria is your country, you should never home, you should come back and I'm like, how much are you going to pay them? And aside that, you think Israel will let them go, something that their own citizens will not even fix that problem. So if you have the problem of bandits uploading videos and all that, and they feel they can get away, it's because the government is not putting things in place to do that. My friend Lexi went to US and he's just someone like me, you know. He's very tech savvy. He was downloading a lot of movies in Nigeria with torrents and all those things. And when he got there, he was like, free Wi-Fi from airports, there's free Wi-Fi, car, free Wi-Fi, hotel, free Wi-Fi, cafe, free Wi-Fi, you know, restaurant, free Wi-Fi. And I was like, let me just continue downloading these movies. It wasn't up to 5 minutes. Police came to pick him up there. He was like, what did he do? They were like, he's doing illegal download. And we're like, illegal download, that's how. You should pay for Netflix. You should pay legally for those things. So if you are using some crooked means or website to download anything, it's a crime. They will have just, pardoned him and left. But unfortunately, the laptop he was using, the windows was also cracked. So they have to just consider the whole thing like, guy, if another set of policemen come there, they will deport you. So we need to really censor our internet to the point that terrorists can't just upload videos that will cause PTSD for people. Organizations that will say, okay, I have this idea, I can approach this body. Can we build this system to help the country? And if they see this idea makes sense, they can ask for grants from government, international bodies. That's the way the country starts to go. In Nigeria today, we are still discussing power, how we have stable electricity. Some countries are discussing how many nuclear weapons they have properly structured so that you can put it in place. And most importantly, the last one, we people, what they call them, community leaders, churches, human resource is very important. In your church, as a church leader, as a community leader, you have a platform already that you can reach out to a large number of people. Are you good with tech? Are you good with coding? Are you good with that? What can we do to help the society? You'll be surprised what people have upstairs as dreams that it scares even them as dream. Like this dream really scares me. They say you don't have a dream that scares you. That dream is not big enough. So they have the opportunity to talk to people. People in like Redeem can say, okay, we discussed this in just last week. We need people that can produce a software that can do this. You see a number of people that will come out. They can do it. Church can raise funds. The only time we are raising funds is not just when we want to build a new auditorium or one mega city church. These are part of projects that church can launch. When you go to what name of this university, when they were to discover the cure for, I can't remember what that issue was, it was Manchester University. They gave it as a project to them, like, okay, there is Ebola, find cure for it. And they assign students and their professors how to brainstorm, how do we solve this problem. I keep asking myself questions. We have so many professors in Nigeria, so many universities. What problems are you guys solving? Because that's part of the issue. You can't just be producing graduates every year. You can't solve any problem. It makes no sense. You are in a technical school, your generators fault, and with all the technical whatever they are teaching you, you can't fix the generator on your school. You have to go and pay somewhere that come and fix the student. So what are they teaching you to do? So we need to use that as a means to reach out to them. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm going to be very fast. This problem, I think, is from the foundation of our education. Because when the Nigerian education was created, it was not created for people who are intelligent, who are creative, who are innovative, and who are entrepreneurial. It was created for people for job. You go to school, they train you to be a good employee, and then after that you get a job. That is why most times when our parents were talking, they would tell us that when they were in school, before they graduated, there was a job waiting for them. Because that is the system of things. You go to school and after that you get a job. So it was not for people who want to build something. It was not for people who are innovative. It was not for people who want to build an idea. It was just for job. So I think the educational system, number one, I mentioned to this is that it needs to be reformed. We need to have entrepreneurship, we need to have innovation into the fundamental class, like primary school. Primary school students should be doing innovation and entrepreneurship as a course. And also, the university should have entrepreneurship departments. That people who graduated from that department, they are going to, best student is going to be given a grant to start a business. So I think this thing can help us compete with other countries. And the second problem that we also face is that we have leaders who do not care about us. What they care about is the next elections. they are not even leaders, let me say politicians, because a leader is not politicians. I mean, politicians care about the next election. Leader cares about the future of that organization or of that country. But something for us as a country, our leaders, they are not leaders, they are politicians, because from their actions we can see that they don't really care about the development of the country, they care about the next election, winning the next election. And that is the potential of politicians. So we need leaders who care about the country and who see potentials in the youth. Not a leader who will address us as lazy and you have not provided the resources that we need for us. Imagine setting up a business in Nigeria now, you have to pay for data, you have to pay for electricity, you have to pay for virtually everything from your seed capital. So it's actually tough. So we need leaders who understand our potentials, who can give us the resources that we need to thrive in the digital ecosystem. And lastly, because of our time, my last point is that I've forgotten the name of the president that says in the USA that don't think about what your country can do for you, but think about what you can do for your country. I mean, this is the mode I'm in right now, because I've put so many hope on the country, and I'm sorry to say the country has failed me, so I'm trying to now make sure that I do not fail my country. So I'm not hoping for what the country will offer me. Now I'm thinking about what I can offer my country. And I think that is what we can do, because if one of us have a conversation about this, we will talk to now and till tomorrow, and nothing will be done. Nothing will be done. I read an article and I sent it to the news outlet. It was not even published, so I know that my voice is not heard. So I mean that's the sign that hey bro, you have no to say this country. So I'm exactly that free to us to publish it. So thank you very much. So now I'm at the point whereby I don't need to pay this country. If this country is killing me there, I have to do something to make sure that, because no matter where I go, I'm a Nigerian. Right? Yeah, my next generation, they are going to be referred, even if I go to Canada, the Nigerian, Canadian, and Nigeria will always be there. So we have to believe that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think John F. Kennedy has said, yes, don't think of what you can do for your country, or what your country can give you, but what you can do for your country. So, I agree with all the speakers and contributors. But just as Mr. Miracle has said, the government needs to leverage on the people with bright minds. But I think the major issue has to do with corruption, nepotism, and not allowing things to be based on merit to that extent. If things are actually done based on meritocracy, I think we'll see a lot of improvement, and we can also easily partner with the government. We'll also see a lot of improvement. What I will just add to it is that the government should create an enabling environment. It should also create a level playing field for everybody, because right now we have a lot of great developers in this country, right? But if you look at the CAC website, it's always having one issue or another. I, for example, in 2021, so I had a very always experience with immigration. People would just be packed. A lot of things, if they allow these developers, even in Ibadan alone, the amount of great developers that we have, but when there is no opportunity to partner, or even when you partner, you sabotage everything. So what I will also say is, let's even forget about the federal government. Let's bring it down to the state government. The state secretariat that we have here. Have you gone there to try to work with them and see? I've tried to, because I sell agro commodities, right? I've tried to go to the Ministry of Agriculture to see how we can partner with this. But I just see that there's no way you can just, but because the timeline that I'm working with is not your own timeline. Their own is you have to keep coming. So, it's never playing you and being able to come. I think it's very possible. Let's leave them aside. Maybe work with people like Mr. Ajide.
Well, I'm not the government, because they say after God are government. Well, before I allow the speakers have the last close last shot of the word today, I want to say this. We can't do without the government. But we have to be part of the government. I was with Michael Okushino, PDP spokesperson for Oyo State. He is in his 30s. So I can say he's my brother, like my younger brother. And he said something that made me feel I failed. He said, Emo, we that we are controlling Oyo State politics, aside from the governor himself, the deputy governor, and one or two people, we are all in our 30s or below. Specifically, if I do not local government that we have, the chairman is in his 30s. The speaker of House of Assembly is in his 30s. The spokesperson of the party in the state is in his 30s. And I feel like it's like I've wasted the last 10 years ago. And this is a call to us. Because there are three people in government that we need to know as young people that is trying to assess the government to make change. Because the government is your biggest partner as a creative person. If they buy into your creativity, you can expand and scale. If they buy into your enterprise, you can expand and scale. If they buy into your ideas, you can expand and scale. But if you are not there, can you get yourself, they say, corridor of power? Around the corridor of power for a reason. Power Kant, the commissioner for youth of Oyo State, was just 23 or 24 when she became the commissioner. She was even clueless. I can say, Fakorede did the same thing. Maybe Fakorede can be a businessman now, right? Fine. But he came in clueless. I just my point now. They had opportunities, know that, but they maximize it. But we that we don't have opportunity, can we create opportunity deliberately? And you know where it starts from? Right from where you live. 2027 is coming. Go and ask. As bad as it may, whatever party you choose to be, it is. Be a political party member. I will tell you an example. I have a lot of people I consult for, and one of them is a party state woman leader. Guess how old she is? She's just 31. Party state woman leader that has all those big mama. You know what she is? Her mother sells clothes. She started from student union. She was already kind of, and she became in politics, right? And she just ventured into the fashion of her mother. So in a political circle, because they are of class there, she can sell you a cap for 500,000 and you will gladly buy, because it's the state woman leader you are buying from. One day you will need her, so you don't want to price. You can see business sense at another level. Are we together? Let me teach you better. The same streamer. The streamer Pella. He did something that people don't understand. He did a paradigm shift from being a streamer to become an influencer and become a public figure where he can have sustainability. So we as creative, this is a call of challenge. Sorry to say. To the personality that can feel hot for the statement I want to say next. If we feel they are imperfect, they are unproductive, then we need to step in. Not as just individuals, but as an army of change. From the church, we need to step in. From the mosque, we need to step in. From the society, we need to step in. We need to say 10 of us are going into different political parties, and 10 of us will see whoever win in any political party and we synergize to bring about change. I did something that was very crazy. 2019, I contested. I did not have one physical poster. My record is at INEC. One physical poster, and I had 3,804 votes. One physical poster I did not have. I don't want them to play the process. I consult for politicians using digital to help them campaign. My principal had issue with the then governor, so we have to do the party for them because we have an issue. I went to an unknown party, NRM, and I took their federal. Even I didn't take it. I was bullied to take it by one person that said, "You been saying you want to be, this is your chance to be." And I took it. And I was asking myself, if I have to go to the field, I did my cost analysis. I was spending about 100 million. I don't have that money for federal level. Now, I asked myself, how much can I raise? My friends raised 700,000. I had 2 million, maybe 2.7. Then I only got 3 coppers. I started pumping the internet. I am from a very remote area in Oyo State. A very remote area. And I was pumping internet with these my flyers, with my manifesto. That was where I had a shift of identity from Olajide BOY and Jide Tunde, because Olajide BOY will not send it in political space. You can't send that to the idea. Do you understand now? So I have to do Jide Tunde. And before I knew it, it became a good game. I did something recently, that was 2019. I did something recently. I motivated the friends to contest. From we not being in any party, we adopted a party which we went to take expression of interest from. In less than 2 months, from we not being a member of the party, we became the second option candidate for the table. The only reason why that my friend was not given ticket, you know the only reason, was because the guy that was given ticket is a serving councillor. That was the only reason. We screamed out 5 other people that have been in the party for years because we were coming as professionals. I don't know, maybe you get the point now. Those of us were saying, people like you want to them, you don't give me all this one. It is people like you we want. But the truth is, Habarado are from the Shebo. If we cannot find a path, you see, whatever pen we see, we use. So they will make do with those non-scores if we sit in this room without going out. And we cannot go out just alone. We have to go out as an army, like I have said. So lastly, before we have their words, please, let's connect after this session. Let's exchange number. Let's know what we do, and let us proceed from here to have the destiny. Let me pass the mic from here to her, so she closes while everybody have their rapporteur 1 minute.
Okay, all right. Please, once again, let's celebrate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I would say that we've had so many things there today, and I'm very glad that we have a means of going back to it to watch and probably listen as audio. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So I would say that we should not let it end here, even down to myself. We've gotten probably some ideas, inspirations. Let's put it into practice. And if I'm going to leave anything with us today, it should be from the word of this wisest man. He says that buy the fruits and sell it not. Thank you.
I want to appreciate everyone for how you contributed to this program. I learned a lot, I cannot lie. And it's a very good opportunity for me to be asking the first time physical needs. I don't want to. I accepted the offer. It was like he was shouting, and I had the option like you or 4 people. I was like, I don't want to be decline because I'm not used to it. I'm just learning, and thank God I learned a lot here, and I want to appreciate you. And one of the things that I really learned yesterday is I learned that I should not let social media control you. You should be the one to control it. It becomes unhealthy when it's the one controlling us instead of us controlling it. And not everything that appears on our screen deserves our attention. So, thank you all.
And once again, I want to appreciate everyone for coming. I want to appreciate the speakers and the leadership in this university. I really do appreciate. I do not take this opportunity for granted. Also, I will leave us with that we should shine the light that we have, and we should shine it. We shouldn't keep that light that is within us. We should shine on our majestically. And then this is not a church. God help us, right? Yeah. Thank you.
To wrap it up, thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for once you understand facilitator and to everyone. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. We do appreciate it. So we'd like to wrap it up to next month. We'll still be coming in together. Thank you so much for coming.